Hello, I'm Dale Von Sagan, founder of One Way Street.
And I'm Liz Von Sagan.
Since 1974, One Way Street has been using puppets to minister to boys and girls and men and women around the world. We're convinced that puppets are a great way of teaching boys and girls, men and women, people of all ages, about the good news of Jesus Christ.
Puppetry has been used to captivate audiences for ages. You see, puppetry is not just for children, it's for adults too.
Through television, puppetry has become part of our popular culture. It has proven effective in teaching children letters, numbers, and values. Imagine the impact of puppets teaching biblical truths.
Puppets are very popular in churches today, and they've been used in ministry for centuries. In fact, the string puppets we know as marionettes, a word that means little Mary, got their name because they were used in church nativity plays.
Through this program, we hope to give you the information you need to begin to entertain and minister to audiences of all ages through the art of puppetry.
So what is puppet ministry? It can be a number of things. It can be one Sunday school teacher using a small puppet in a classroom to tell a Bible story. It can be a group of teenagers directed by adults who use puppets to perform skits and songs in their community, in their church, or anywhere they have the opportunity. Or it can be a number of children or teens or adults in children's church from week to week that use puppets to tell Bible stories, to sing songs, and to interact with the children. There are many different styles of puppets. In ministry, the most common type of puppet is the moving mouth style hand puppet. This is the style of puppetry we will focus on today. However, we will discuss some other unique puppet styles later on. In this video, we're going to present techniques for performing both puppet songs and puppet skits. Let's take a look at an Easter story. It's called The Case of the Missing Messiah.
This is the city, Jerusalem. My name is Ben Ghazi. I'm a private detective. I've been on a lot of interesting cases in my time, but none can hold a candle to the case of the missing Messiah. It all began on a quiet Sunday morning. I was relaxing at my desk when there was a knock at my door. It's open.
Are you Ben Ghazi, the private detective?
You see anybody else in the room? Yeah, I'm Ben Ghazi. Who are you?
My name is Saul. I'm a member of the Jewish ruling council.
The Sanhedrin, eh? What do you high-class religious types want with a low-class gumshoe like me?
We want you to find a missing person for us.
A snatch job, huh? Who is it? Someone important?
No, just a man named Jesus.
Jesus. That's a pretty common name. It's not much to go on.
He's also known as Jesus of Nazareth.
Now we're getting somewhere. Can you describe him?
He was average height and weight, dark hair and eyes, with a beard. He was a carpenter by trade.
So why do you want him? Did he cheat on a construction job at the temple or something?
Nah, he's just missing, and we want to find him, that's all.
I see. Any idea who might have wanted him out of the way?
We did.
Huh? If you snatched him, then how can he be missing? Instead of a PI, maybe you need to see a shrink.
What I mean is that we took Jesus in for questioning last Thursday night.
On what charge?
Blasphemy. He claimed to be the Son of God, the promised Messiah.
Did he sing? Did he confess?
He really didn't say much of anything until the high priest Caiaphas made him swear before God to answer whether he was Christ or not. And when he said yes, the council sentenced him to die.
That is the usual penalty for blasphemy. What happened next?
We took the prisoner to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate to demand that he be crucified.
And what did the esteemed governor have to say?
He tried to set Jesus free, but eventually gave in to our demands and had his soldiers take Jesus away.
Those barbarians. Only guys like them could enjoy nailing people to crosses. And people say I'm the scum of the earth. So is that when you lost this Jesus guy?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. You know, buddy, that kind of leaves me on a donkey at a red light. I'm not following you. You turned Jesus over to the big boys from Rome, but that wasn't when you lost him.
That's right.
I should have listened to Mom and become a shepherd. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually laid eyes on this Jesus character?
When he was on Golgotha Hill.
The place of the skull, eh? That makes sense. That's where the criminals are usually found hanging around. Hanging around, get it? See, crosses and... It's a joke, all right? Oh, boy. Well, what happened to him after that?
From what I heard, some of his followers took his body and put it in a garden tomb.
Well, there you are. Case closed. Jesus is in the garden pushing up daisies.
I'm afraid not. I just got a report this morning that the tomb is empty. Not a trace of Jesus.
So that's where he's missing from.
That's right. Before he died, Jesus said that he would rise from the dead and thus prove that he was who he claimed to be. And therein lies our dilemma.
Dilemma? Dilemma schlemma. We're talking about a miracle here.
Call it what you'd like. I'd like to call it an opportunity for a certain down-on-his-luck private detective.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that if a certain detective could prove this so-called resurrection was really a hoax perpetrated by Jesus' followers, he could become a very wealthy man. What would he say to that?
He'd say you can keep your filthy dough. Only the Son of God could beat the death threat.
I think you missed the point.
You've got it wrong, choir boy. Your Messiah's not missing. He's alive. And you've missed him. Now get out before I throw you out. And that was the case of the missing Messiah. Oh, by the way, I just want to let you know the Messiah, Jesus, is missing. You and Jesus. If not, you don't know who you're missing.
If your puppet team is truly going to be a ministry, you have to take some time to figure out what God's purpose is for you. Maybe He wants you to be involved in children's church right there in your own congregation. Or maybe He's got some outreach He wants you to do. Maybe He wants you to take that puppet team to the senior citizen homes, or to the inner city, or take a trip and perform in other churches. After you have figured out that purpose, try to write it down, put it on paper, pray about it, allow God to talk to you. A sample mission statement might go something like this. To train and disciple our church's youth for ministry and to creatively present the gospel to those outside our church. One thing every puppet ministry needs is a good leader.
Leader? Take me to your leader.
Who are you?
Dale, this is Greenly Green. This puppet came all the way from the Milky Way galaxy.
Which part?
All of me. Take me to your leader. Are you the leader?
Well, I do lead Liz around the country, training lots of puppet team leaders.
I'm the puppet. Take me to your puppet team leader.
Well, what sort of leader are you looking for?
Somebody who knows where he's going and how to get there. Well, Greenly, you for a long distance. You came all the way from the Milky Way galaxy. Surely you could help us know the secret for your safe space travel. Don't Well, interestingly enough, that's the secret. We should not
Christ and not just teach puppetry skills.
Growing like me.
Yes, it does take growing, and it also takes time and probably some extra help.
Help? Yes, it takes some extra help. You see, it's tough for one person to direct a whole group of puppeteers all by themselves. It helps when there are other leaders. Leaders? How many leaders?
Well, one good rule of thumb is a 1-to-6 ratio.
1 to 6?
That's right, 1 leader for every 6 puppeteers. That way, your assistant directors can help you with all the jobs that need to be done.
That's right. Those assistant leaders can do things like leading devotions or running sound and lights, maybe even prop making. Anything, you see, it helps when that leader does not have to do things all by himself. Oh, that would be so lonely.
Plan on having regular meetings with your assistant directors. Talk and pray together about everything you're planning to do. The more help you have from assistant leaders, the more sanity you're going to retain, and the longer your ministry will be able to function.
Wowee! With leaders like that, puppets can go to infinity and beyond.
Once your leadership team is in place, the next thing you're going to need is puppeteers. Almost anyone can learn to become a puppeteer. Some puppet teams are made up of kids from the youth group. Some are made up of older children, while others are made up of committed adults. There really is no perfect age for a puppeteer. However, puppet teams usually work best when everyone is about the same age. This makes it easier to select the height of the puppet stage so that everyone can perform easily. It's worth mentioning that some younger children may have difficulty operating the puppets. Puppet ministry is a very physically demanding activity, and some younger kids may have trouble holding their arms up for longer periods of time. We found it best to work with boys and girls about 5th or 6th grade and older. That would be about age 11 or 12. Many of these puppeteers have continued to work with the puppet team throughout their high school years. Try to select puppeteers who can make their puppet ministry involvement a high priority. It's okay to have busy people as long as they can commit to regular team rehearsals and performances. There are certain types of people who often are drawn to puppet ministry. Sometimes those who are shy find they can excel at puppetry because they're able to be behind the curtain where the crowd does not intimidate them. Sometimes people who like music but can't sing or play an instrument really excel at puppetry because they can have their puppets do the singing. Those who like drama and acting also can make really good puppeteers. Ideally, you want puppeteers who are dependable, enthusiastic, teachable, and willing to work hard. Every puppet team needs to have a well-defined set of policies. The most important policy is the policy regarding attendance. You must have regular attendance at your rehearsals if you want to have a successful puppet team. These policies need to be put on paper, and everyone needs to understand what your expectations are. Address have. Our last essential ingredient is rehearsal.
It's very important that puppet teams rehearse every week. Anything less allows too much opportunity to forget what you learned. Most teams rehearse for at least an hour and a half. This allows plenty of time for rehearsal as prayer and events. Now that we have all our ingredients, let's see what happens when we put our practice. Take puppets